take a look at the Kentucky Derby alumni for the Matt Winn entrance who last ran in the Derby. All right, final gambit, finished fourth. We saw Burnham Square, East Avenue, Chunk of Gold, Coal Battle. Some of the big players in the sport here, Caleb.
Between the Matt Winn, the Belmont, and I believe also the grass race, the Pennine Ridge, we're going to see over half the Kentucky Derby field running this week. And, this Matt Winn Stakes kind of used to be an afterthought, to be honest, until, I do believe, when Steve Asmussen held the great gun runner back after his third in the Derby. They didn't go to the Preakness. They didn't go to the Belmont. They stayed home, and they won the Matt Winn and propelled him to a really nice eventual horse of the year the next season. So one horse that I'm still buying stock in out of this race, he finished 8th in the Derby. I'm only looking at when East Avenue has made the lead. Okay, now East Avenue has 6 starts. 3 times he's made the lead. You got 2 gigantic wins and just got beat in the Bluegrass. The 3 times that he didn't make the lead, they're awful. I understand that. But if you look at a horse like Bayern, he was the same way. When he made the lead, he could win the Classic. When he didn't make the lead, he could run 10th in the Travers. And that's what I'm seeing here with East Avenue. Now you're going to get Luis Saez. There's not a lot of speed signed on. I would still buy stock in this horse moving forward.
East Avenue there for the Godolphin team, trained by Brendan Walsh. We've also got Final Gambit coming out of this year's Kentucky Derby. And this was a runner, the colt, who had plenty of run on late, Caleb. If we could just stick a little closer to the front markers, watch out, Final Gambit could come with a charge.
Yeah, widest of all. And look at him rolling right past Sandman. Sandman's just to his inside. Sandman was the great taking more money, but Final Gambit's the one that came up and got the spoils of hitting the Superfecta. He's now gliding right off Baeza, who we know is going to be a top contender in the Belmont. Gave up a lot of ground and finished well. He was formerly a synthetic horse. Said he wasn't training too great on the dirt when he was a 2-year-old, but certainly liked the sloppy going in this effort.
Final Gambit making start number 6. What about the Ian Wilkes trainee in Burnham Square? Now, it's Rocks or Diamonds was fantastic in the Bluegrass, fantastic in the Holy Bull, but has sprinkled in a couple of runs that we have to show a bit of improvement from. Burnham Square was right there in the Derby, but you're going to have to return it back to that Bluegrass kind of form.
You know, he's a sharp horse. He's a rare gelding that runs against colts. These are all colts in this race. He's the only gelding. We had only seen 3 geldings win the Kentucky Derby in the last 100 years. But he ran a good race. He was 6th and also had to pump the brakes at one point in the race. And I know he's always trained forwardly. I'm not even going to consider that Derby a bad race. He's never run a poor effort and has a nice late kick. Plus, Brian Hernandez just won the big race at Churchill last weekend with Mystic Dan.
There's a thing or two about getting it done beneath the Twin Spires. Coal Battle, the 6 coming in for Lonnie Briley. Small barn trying to take aim at another big dance here. We saw Coal Battle run in the Kentucky Derby. It would have been the Cinderella story, but it just wasn't meant to be.
You know, he won his first 5 dirt races, including the Smarty Jones and the Rebel. One of the coolest walks that I've ever seen to the racetrack, to be honest. I had a chance one morning to cover the morning show for the Derby, and he took a stroll to the track, and Lonnie told Scott Hazelton, look, he's just going to stop along the way and pause. This guy literally paused, waited for Hazelton to do the interview, and I'm not even kidding. When Hazelton wrapped up the interview, Coal Battle continued to walk on. Like a very, very smart horse. He's the owner of his domain. Kind of a smaller horse, but in my mind, the smaller horses run the turns very well. And this guy's had some lightning moves in the far turn in his career.
Probably stopped because he thought he ran into Paul from Pensacola. Let's take a look at Chunk of Gold, the 3 here. Chunk of Gold coming in for Ethan West in the team. Also out of this year's Kentucky Derby. Really didn't show up to play back there on the 3rd of May, but if you look at what we have seen in the trainings, there's certainly a lot of talent here with this colt.
And this shows you why the Derby has such an amazing lore. Let's look at a horse like Barnes. It's one of the original favorites. Barnes cost $3.2 million. He did not make the Kentucky Derby. Chunk of Gold cost $2,500, and he did make the Kentucky Derby. Was 2nd in the Louisiana Derby, 2nd in the Risen Star. And what's amazing is this horse has never trained on dirt. He only trains on synthetic. When he ran on the dirt at the fairgrounds, they banned him down to Louisiana. So he's really been training only on the synthetic and still running good races on the dirt.
That's a field of 7 taking aim at this weekend's running of the Matt Winn Stakes. You can watch it right here on FanDuel TV going off on Sunday afternoon. On Saturday, we've got the Mighty Bow Stakes, the Leslie Lady Overnight Stakes on Sunday, alongside of that Matt Winn. It's a great squad we've got there, the starting 6 to take you through all of the lead-up action in buzz. So that's what's coming up this weekend from Churchill Downs.